Hey viewers, it's James Kalm, your half-assed reporter, the guy on the bike, and we're back. I'm gonna run in here to Ziehersmith, and it's just about closing time on a Friday. I'm gonna take a look at an exhibition by Allison Schulnick. Hoff II. Well, Allison is an LA-based painter, and I think I might have covered her first show in New York at Canada probably about 5 or 6 years ago. You can go back and check the back files of the James Kalm report. And, well, I'm a big fan of chunky paint. And I actually started seeing some of Allison's work, I guess it's some art fairs, maybe 10 years ago. I think a gallery that she works with in LA brought her work to maybe the Armory show. This is titled Lady 2016. Six by 5 feet. And, well, I think one of the things that I find interesting about, well, it's not only Allison, but it seems like there's a whole school of thick painters coming out of LA now. I think we saw a show by Vanessa Prager at the Hole a couple months ago. Then there's Dennis Hollingsworth, who was out in LA and is now moved to New York. This is titled Daffodil on Pink 2016. And I just think it's interesting because a lot of people seem to think that New York has a franchise on chunky painting, painterly painting. This is actually some of the work that I think is kind of showing an interesting development. I think this one is Centaur and Unicorn. You know, there's another, it's actually a Canadian painter, Kim Dorland, does a lot of thick impasto. But I think it's interesting that she's kind of developed her imagery into a, I don't know, what can I call it, a kind of girly fantasy direction. So I've got a unicorn, little mushrooms. This is 78 by 120 inches. And also she's gone to a much, I wonder what those represent. Much lighter palette. It's a nasty little piece. This is titled Senatorette Cup. Oil on canvas, 10 by 10 inches. And, well, I would say she's probably got oil paint there goobed on about an inch thick. This is titled Gin number 13, 2016, 90 by 78. And they were saying in this latest body of work that she's doing some of these are self-portraits. So that's with her kitty. But I like the richness of the paint, and well, they make a reference here to the fact that we're still in the Great Recession, but that Allison is still painting like she's got oil paint to burn. And I like the contrast between these, the dark pieces, and something like this that's the much lighter key. This is titled Two Long Unicorns. There's also a kind of a goofy aspect to this. The buck teeth. Would be interesting to find out how long it takes these paintings to dry and how much they weigh. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if these maybe get up to 120 pounds, something like that, and take 6 to 8 months to skin over nicely so you can ship them. Also, I like the way that some of these areas are kind of filled with broad kind of gestural fields, and then other parts are very tightly worked and more intricately detailed. This is purple and red flower. I think some of the first paintings I saw by Allison years ago were flower studies. And oh boy, when you got paint like that built up on the edge, you have to be careful handling these things. But I like the kind of tar-like quality of this black background. Okay, here's our kitty. This is titled Gin number 14, oil and canvas stretched over board, 36 by 36. You know, I was going to also mention that when I spoke to Vanessa Prager, who was also another LA painter, she mentioned the London School and people like Frank Arbach and Leon Kossoff as influences, and well, it's interesting to sort of think about how something like a group of old guys painting in London would influence young kids painting in LA, but gee, that's one of the wonderful enigmas of the art world and influences. James Kalm giving you a rough cut run through of Allison Schulnick's Hoff II here at Ziehersmith, 516 West 20th Street in Chelsea. Here we are on the Lower East Side. We're going to run into a place called Gallery 67 here on Ludlow Street, and I thought I'd take this opportunity to show you what the raw and rugged art scene on the Lower East Side is happening. This is a show by Stephen Truax titled How Will I Know? I've known Stephen for 4 or 5 years, maybe more. This is his debut show in New York, and I think one of the most interesting aspects of this is how and where and why art is being shown on the Lower East Side. Okay, well, I just spoke to the curator of the show, Dr. Anna Luther. She says she's actually the great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-granddaughter of Martin Luther. Excuse me. This is actually a kind of an interesting installation of 2 photographs here. This is titled Cruising Ground. 2015 C-print, 36 by 52 inches, and a lot of people were commenting on the installation here on the pipes.
It's like 3 feet 2 meters. So it's like 2,500.
We'll go over and look at some of Stephen's drawings. Well, I'll read a little bit from the press release. Intimate drawings show the domestic involvement of a married couple with a third partner whose observations become a record of their relationship. Okay, so I think this is graphite on paper. This is titled How Will I Know? Erection. I guess that will give you a clue. It's titled How Will I Know Sleeping? Graphite on paper, 8 1/4 by 11 3/4 inches. I guess there are the 3 figures. I don't know whether Stephen would consider these self-portraits or not. This is titled Driving. Graphite on paper. 11 3/4 by 8 1/4. Well, I was talking to Stephen, and I said, this looks like a big change for you, because a lot of the work I'd seen before was geometrical abstractions and acrylic and watercolor. This is titled In the Morning. Actually, Stephen is a pretty good draftsman. I like his freshness with his handling and Oh, there's a certain confidence with his cross-hatching, his stroking. This is titled Eating Ass.
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah. It captures the moment well, you know?
You think it captures the moment?
Yeah. Though, actually, I feel like the head's a little high for that.
You know Sharon Butler's vlog, right?
Yes, I do.
So,
This is 11 by 3/4 and 8 1/4. Yes, Sharon Butler. Okay.
And the string.
Excuse me. This is titled Sunday.
I knew that immediately because I took the notes.
You know, the other thing I was thinking is that some of this kind of makes me think of David Hockney from the late 60s. I just thought you might be interested to see how art happens here. This is Ben Godward. Yeah, okay. Here's the artist. Congratulations. Stephen Truax. Your debut show in New York.
This is it.
Is there anything that you would like to tell the viewers about being a young artist happening in the Lower East Side in Manhattan in 2016?
If you just keep banging away at a project long enough, it'll finally get shown.
Good for you. Congratulations, Stephen. Way
Thank
to go.
you very much.
All right. Love it. So this is James Kalm on the Lower East Side here at Gallery 67 on Ludlow Street. And we've been looking at an exhibition by Stephen Truax titled How Will I Know? And
You're totally allowed it.
let's say it together, folks. Thank you, Kate. Whoa! Thank you. That was beautiful.